Our next is our very own Betsey Merkel from iOpen, who is going to present today, and her is Contextual Transmedia Communication. And with that, we have to all know that it's Betsey that made the live stream possible, that the tweeting and the Facebook and all that, we really have to recognize all her efforts to make that COINS outer media work for us. And welcome, Betsey Merkel.
Hi, good morning. It's nice to be here. And I want to thank all of the people online who have been helping so much to get all the good words out about your work here. So this morning, I'd like to talk just a little bit about contextual transmedia communication. And it's a way of organizing information, knowledge, and learning to generate knowledge using social media and online communities and that sort of thing. But more importantly, that it's a way for us to loosely organize information in our age of complexity. So we'll go on here. And these two are early things. So, and I will show you an example of them. So right now, we live in an age of complexity where everyone really is affected. We're all affected by the integration now of social, environmental, and economic issues, challenges. The space you see in the middle of the Venn, that's where we all are. No one can escape from the effects of generally infrastructure failures in each of these categories. So everything is connected, right? But generally we are not. So this is the flattening, a type of flattening that we can say is occurring. In June, the Economic Development Agency at the U.S. Department of Commerce commissioned the Council of Competitiveness to write a report to prescribe solutions for innovation in education, economic, and workforce development because of these systems failures. So, really, what can we do? What are some solutions that we can start looking at in these new times? And the summary was, basically, they said, you know what? You need to do three things. And this would look like a local economic development or educational organization investing in these three things. Conversations, we start talking to each other, we start connecting. Conversations generate collaborations. That's one of the reasons why we're all here, to talk about new ideas, share ideas, get new ideas, deconstruct, try new things, so we can build new collaborations. And by doing so, we will build capacity. So it's by the experimentation and going through of all of these new ideas together, seeing what's going to stick to the wall and be projects that'll really make change in our communities and regions, that we will build capacity. Because basically everything that we've known before doesn't apply now. We're in an age of complexity. But the council said, one thing you've got to do is that we have to have a new form of leadership, all of us working together. And they said that basically, and I'm sure you'll all agree, that leadership really doesn't stick like those projects unless it has elements of high giving, right? We have to all give ahead. Reciprocity, so that each one of us gives. We're careful to give attribution and reciprocate. Reciprocity and reciprocation. Now, I thought it might be kind of fun if we could use the example of COINS 2010. And since I was very fortunate to help participate in preparing, I thought we would look over the last 5 months of some things that we've done. But let's start here. So we're looking at what is essentially a transfer of an innovation framework that we use in open source economic development that has what we say 5 areas of investment that every community, education, organization, foundation, right down to each of us as individuals should be focused on. And we talk about not these 5 categories, but highly similar ones. We talk about brain power. We talk about innovation and entrepreneurial networks. We talk about investing in quality connected places. We talk about dialogue and inclusion. And we talk about branding stories, so you get the sense of what we would suggest local communities be investing in for thriving, sustainable regions. And so what I thought may be fun is we would transfer that, which fits and aligns very nicely with elements of what we're all doing here. So we're all investing in creativity, right? Brain power, creativity, our most competitive and most valuable asset. Then we're investing in COINGs, collaborative innovation networks. How do we take that creativity and share it across networks? And then we talk about cool places, right? SCAD is a wonderful, beautiful host, and we're investing in this cool place. And then we're bringing people together in a sense of swarms. And then all of us contributing together to think about where are the cool ideas and how can we help to move them forward. So in essence, all of our activities on a high level can generate this very first imprint of the science of collaboration. And that's the 2010 community. So one thing that we have today is we have the advantage of being able to use social media tools. And this, going back to the idea that we all are in an age of complexity, we really must engage at higher levels of organization, process, and tools. Right? So we talk about what tools that we can use in media, social media, so we can build a Web 2.0 social media infrastructure. This is not uncommon. Everybody does it. So you have these various media entities and platforms and their communities that you can strategize and see which ones you prefer and start investing in. And so about 5 months ago, that's what we did. So we started with, what are some of the platforms that we can start investing in and sharing information across. And we looked at Flickr and SlideShare and Scribe, Strategy Nets, Livestream, right? YouTube, video, and Twitter. And starting with all of the information that all of us started sharing via abstracts even, and the conversations on social media that began to attract around these abstract and documents, and a couple of video interviews that some of you here were very generous to contribute from last year. We started building out Facebook, right? And some of you have been there or joined friends. And these are all very emergent footprint pieces. We have photographs and a couple of sets of image sets. So these are images. What does this community look like? We have the live stream. We're very fortunate to have the live broadcast, which automatically, in an unusual tool, automatically archives everything for pretty much immediate access in content libraries. We have a workspace, right? A collaborative, simple tool set that we can use to work together on. We have all the abstracts up on Scribe, so we're beginning to generate content and documents. And you can see, I thought it was kind of fun. You have to remember that each one of these tools with their own communities have their own audiences. Scribe has, I see, a total reads of 12,571. So you get the sense that from each of these tools and the publication and sharing of your information or information that's associated with you, we can realize these emergent audiences. Here's Twitter, and these are all, of course, dynamic tool sets, Twitter being the most dynamic microblog. On Vimeo, and another video, right, video archive piece, and YouTube, another video archive. And that brings us up to this, which is kind of fun to look at all together. So what we're doing is identifying and connecting the information, sharing the information that's coming forward from this community and the conversations that it's attracting, that content is attracting, pulling it together, and we're essentially sharing Web 2.0 Web 3.0 information across Web 3.0 infrastructure. So we're contextualizing information that's generated from this community and the other associated communities to create what I like to call a shared sentiment portrait of this community. Thank you. And this, in essence, connects to the intelligence value of the community to other online communities to share information for improvement. So this is all about sharing information in an open source way. This map shows this as a solution, contextual transmedia communications, as a solution for distributing information and knowledge from one point. If you see the circle on the upper left, is the former traditional way of pushing information out over the course of managed events. And what we're really now looking at is the distribution from many sources all at once, i.e. those tools that we had looked at. So we're really pursuing a shared flowing multi-point at once in complex systems. So what this does is this allows us to engage in complexity by sharing knowledge to build value. Right? I'll go on. And it may be interesting to know that, so in a way, social media helps to identify the emerging intelligence systems and their audiences, Cohen's 2010 being one. So contextual transmedia communications connects creativity to education, economic, and workforce development. Thank you.
Thank you, Betsey, for that. Imagine that through her efforts and coming here, we're all part of this contextual transmedia live. All right, we're engaging in it today with that audience that's on live stream and others, and we thank Betsey for kind of taking us into that kind of new creative media to extend the message that we had. Now, what I'd like to have is the presenters to come up. We have a few minutes to ask a few questions. So for Peter, Jim, Takashi, come on, stand here in the front, and we'll take some questions from the audience here. So our first 5 presenters, Maggie, yes? Come on up here in the front, stand in the front, and we'll take questions from the audience that they may have had and would like to raise for our initial presenters. Okay, questions? Chris has got a question.